This time, when my body crashes into the tower's stairs, I'm unable to make a noise. The obstruction is less mental and more physical. The excruciating pain. It's so intense I can't even eke out a scream. My vision is distorted, my mind thick with fog. I feel like I'll fall into a bottomless pit if I loosen my grip on my consciousness even slightly. Through the haze, I see my own severed left arm. Reflected in a pool of blood, I see my face, large chunks of flesh peeled off.
Look at you, trying to crawl up those stairs like a worm. How pathetic. It's like I'm looking at my old self.
I can barely form a coherent thought. I can't lament her inhuman fate, can't mourn for her, or be shocked by the revelation about the three men and her history with them. Pain. It fills every corner of my mind, every nook and cranny of my body.
You figured it out by now, haven't you, my dear? You'll never make it to me. It's not possible. But it's not your fault. It's not because you're weak. There's simply no one who can bear this pain. You're allowed to give up, to rest. There's nothing wrong with that. The pain, the crushing weight. It's miserable, isn't it? But all you have to do is turn back, and it'll all go away.
The witch whispers her sweet temptations.
You've put in a fine effort. There's no shame at all in throwing in the towel.
Her voice is soft, gentle, pleasant, saccharine.
Concede defeat.
If I do, it'll all go away. The searing pain spreading through the stump of my left arm. It's the sensation of being perpetually drained of my blood. The miserable solitude of staring at a door that never opens. The laughter I can hear through the window. My miserable wailing and this maddening hatred. I can end it all.
That's right. It will all be over. You have the power to make it stop.
Make it all stop. No! I can't let that happen. No! I have to get her back at my side. I'll do anything to take her back, even if it means I end up 1,000 tiny scraps of meat. I will not give up on her for any reason.
You won't, will you? Oh, such beautiful resolve. Willing to sacrifice yourself to save the girl. Like a hero of legend. Or maybe a fairy tale prince.
No. I am no hero. And I am no prince. I am a human. An ordinary man. I don't have any extraordinary potential. I'm not a courageous leader or a charismatic general. I'm just a regular man. In love with a regular woman who refuses to lose her. I don't need any other accomplishments. Only that. That's all I need. Because I'm just a regular man. my one act of resistance. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter how much you cut me up. Nothing changes what I have to do. I have to take her back and set her free of this mansion. Nothing else. And never will I back down on that. Arms or no, as long as I can move, I must push forward. I must make my way to the woman who waited for me for so long. Up to the top of the tower. Forward. Ever onward. Dragging my bloody body, paying the pain no mind, I once more arrive at the top of the observation tower. I place my hand on the door, holding myself up with my lacerated right arm. Take a moment to catch my breath, then lift my head, gaze into the void and shout her name. Morgana! I pity you. I truly do. You are a saint, shackled with an unfathomable fate, and for that I am enraged. And I felt your pain as I watched your life. I too felt a burning hatred for those 3 men.
If you truly feel that way, then why can't you stay here with me? We're all dead anyway. We've reached our ends. Do you honestly think there's anything more for us? There isn't. The end is the end. So what do you say the 3 of us, me, you, and Giselle, torture the 3 of them and everyone they cared about? Make them suffer here for all eternity, in this house. And that way, you and Giselle can be together forever too.
That's not an option.
Why not?
Because hatred only brings you pain.
Oh, that's brilliant. You, spouting stupid platitudes at me. I can't believe my ears. Save your nonsense moralizing about how hatred does you no good. I won't hear it. I'm doing just fine for myself, my dear. In fact, I've never been better. I feel wonderful. Did you think that would be enough to persuade me? Really? How disappointing. And here I thought you understood me.
Morgana.
Why don't you say what you really think? Go right on ahead, hate them as much as you want, but keep me and Giselle out of it. Why didn't you just say that?
I do feel bad, truthfully. For all the time we spent together, never once did I ask about your life. I was so focused on myself, and in the end, I pushed you away.
That you did. You wanted to be with Giselle, so you pushed me out.
I wish I had asked you sooner.
It wouldn't have changed anything, though. One puny man knowing what I went through would hardly be enough to erase the loathing I bear. It would have turned out the same regardless. There was nothing you could have done for me. There is nothing.
Still, I would like to apologize. Had I known what you carried in your heart, perhaps I could have chosen my words better. Instead of rejecting you, I could have chosen some other response. I cannot remain in this house, nor can I allow her to stay either. So I would like to apologize for both my past actions and my present.
Well, in that case, open the door, Michelle.
I take another moment to catch my breath, and then I gather my strength into the hand on the door. Blood seeps from my fingertips, slowly trickling down the rough surface. It reminds me of my death. I'm coming for you. I push open the door, praying that it will be the last, that beyond it lies light for Giselle, and if possible, that it might cast a bit of light on Morgana's heart as well. What? However, why am I in my bedroom? What I find beneath the door is the last thing I expect. Huh. As she appears from the shadows of my chamber, I can't conceal my surprise. Full body chills again. Jesus fuck. Oh! Giselle. Is this another illusion, Morgana?
No, it's not. I am the real me. Thank you for coming all the way here for me.
She's thanking me. So why isn't she smiling?
That was very kind and courageous of you, Michelle. I'm deeply moved you would have such compassion, not only for her, but for someone like me. But do you know what else you are?
You're a worm. What is it this time, Morgana?
What do you say we pull back the curtain, my dear?
What curtain?
There's one detail that hasn't yet come to light. This isn't your first return to the mansion, is it? You've been back numerous times, each time not remembering her, and each time hurting her even more.
What are you talking about?
What am I talking about? Oh, you know good and well, my dear. Or do you honestly believe that all the other pieces were in their rightful places, and you alone were some exception?
I never.
Tell me, how was it? Living in so many different eras, not knowing who you were, and playing with all the different men?
No. You're out of your mind. You make it sound like I was...
Not like, my dear. You are the white-haired girl.
Enough! How could anyone possibly confuse me with her?
To tell you the truth, I couldn't see you as anyone else. Your white hair, red eyes, porcelain skin, and your name. Tell me, what about you isn't the same?
We're not the same person.
I saw the letter.
What?
The one you had hidden.
No.
And you didn't think that was worth mentioning?
No. Giselle, I didn't mean...
You're exactly right, my dear Giselle. He deceived you. He kept a very important secret from you. Despite showing up before you multiple times, he cast you aside again and again.
No. That wasn't me. It wasn't.
It all makes sense now. Nothing you ever did was for me.
Giselle! I...
Go on, Giselle. Tell him exactly how you feel. Michelle...
Don't. Please don't. Don't say it! Not that, please! I'm begging you!
You're...
Stop! Please don't, Giselle!
Not actually.
Please! Don't say it!
A man at all. Are you? You're disgusting. You're the only one it could have been, my dear. The only one who could have been the white-haired girl.
The next moment, my whole world comes tumbling down. I could have borne anything. Losing my arm, having my face torn off. Any amount of pain, I could have handled it. For you, I could have done it. But this, hearing those words coming from your mouth, being rejected by you, that I cannot. Those words, they bury me alive. And you're the one person I never wanted to hear them from. Oh, God. I actually started welling up a little there. When I learned my father, Antonin, had passed, I wrote 2 letters, one to my brother and one to my mother. It was the first time I'd found the courage to face my mother, to open up to her. I wanted to show her who I was, convince her that I wasn't cursed, so I could be myself when I returned to the capital with Giselle. Dear Mother, there is something I wish to tell you, something that means a great deal to me. So I ask of you, please hear me out. And I ask of you, please accept it. Mother, I no longer bear any resentment for my present lot in life. Nevertheless, I would ask of you to concede one thing, that I was never cursed, that I was always your son, that I am Michelle, not Michelle. I have found someone whom I care for deeply, a woman dearly, dearly, and I love her with all my heart. I would like to spend the rest of my life with her. I do not wish for much, simply to have a quiet life with her. To go through our days together, man and woman. That is the one thing I want. Mother, I know you're aware that my body is no longer female. I am a man. My heart is male. And I ask of you to please accept that. I have no grudge with you. In fact, I am incredibly grateful to you for bringing me into this world. With love, your dearest son. Shortly after sending that letter,
I was killed. I'm dragged down, against my will, into the darkness. Beneath me spreads my own past. My door. The door I swore never to open. But despite all my efforts to resist, the door sucks me in. Into a world I never wanted to see again. A history I never wanted revealed. A past I never wanted anyone to see. Nonetheless, the door opens. The seventh door. 1086 to undisclosed time. There were two things out of the ordinary about that baby. The first its parents embraced, and the second they wholly rejected. Although it was some time before the baby's second peculiarity emerged. And until it finally did, no one was any the wiser. Not even the child itself. Its mother surely enjoyed that brief period of happiness before her child finally realized the truth. Blind to the fact that the moment it had let out its first cry, everything came crashing down. To this day, she still doesn't know the child she gave birth to. That she set loose a curse upon the world. A curse that turned angels into demons, humans into witches. My God, look at that.
She's beautiful, isn't she? Have you seen her laugh?
Not yet, I haven't. At any rate, that color certainly is something else.
God's gift to us. No, she's an angel sent from heaven.
An angel? Ha, yes. I can see it now, Liddy. Her white hair and almost translucent skin. It's beautiful.
My, she opened her eyes. Maybe she felt you nearby. Do you like your father more than me? Is that it, sweetheart? Oh, gorgeous, aren't they? Such a deep, enchanting color. Like two little jewels.
Ah, that they are. A magnificent shade of red. I've never seen anything like it. And this is our child.
She's special. I can feel it. We have to take good care of her. She needs a name. One that's just as special as her. Have you already chosen, Antonin?
You were the one begging for a girl. You do it. Besides, I already had to rack my brain for the boys' names. Now it's your turn.
Are you really going to let me? Oh, my, that's quite a lot of pressure.
Name her after an angel, then.
Ooh, I like that. All right, then. We'll call her Michelle, after the archangel Michael. Archangel, I always forget. I think it's Archangel. Archangel Michael. You'll grow up to be beautiful as any angel, my Michelle. I've always wanted a little girl.
With her snowy white hair, skin so pale you could see the veins beneath it, and her ruby red eyes, she was a very peculiar-looking little girl,
and her mother showered her with love. She truly believed her daughter was an angel sent from above, born as a human child. The blessed babe, born a girl, was given an angel's name, Michelle. Michelle. Me.
Checkmate.
Man, it was at this point in playing, I had thought I was somewhat close to the end when I got here. Well, just before this, like hearing Morgana's story. But then seeing this presentation suddenly, so far into the experience, it's happening again. One, I got full body chills, and two, that's when I seriously started considering that this could be my second favorite game of all time. And I think it was a little bit later that I started considering, oh shit, is this my favorite story ever written? But it was around this point where, just with this music and envisioning the scale of what had yet to come to light, that's when the thought entered my head that this is truly something unbelievably special. I see. That's what you did. Oh, curses, I completely overlooked that. I thought you were advancing with your pawns, but that was all a diversion.
You're too short-sighted, Didier. You need to look at the big picture. Sometimes it's the tactician and not the soldier holding the sword.
You got me. You're quite good at this, Michelle. What inspired you to take such an aggressive strategy?
It was not inspiration. It was derivation. Derivation?
Derivation? I've never heard that word spoken out loud.
Chess is in many ways similar to real war tactics.
My military texts. You haven't read all of them, have you?
I have nothing but time.
Impressive. Even I haven't read all the books in my room. You planning to join the Order with that kind of knowledge?
You jest. You're the one who's going to be a knight, Didier.
That I am. War is the men's job, after all. I want you to be there to welcome me home. I want you to be there to welcome me home. Something like that.
Didier, oh Didier! I'm in a bit of a bind. Oh, hello there, Michelle. I didn't know you were home, George. George? I just got back, yep. Ooh, playing chess again, are you? Let's see, what do we have here?
Get away from the board!
Yikes, you got trounced, huh? And you call yourself her big brother.
As if you're any better.
That's not funny, George. I cannot approve of someone who can't keep up with the flow of battle becoming a knight. Given our family's rank, you would eventually be put in charge of other soldiers.
What, are you worried about me?
No, I'm saying...
I've been blessed with such a caring sister. But fear not. I have a guardian angel, after all.
Where's the logic in that?
You should have been a bit more subtle with that. But fear not, I have a guardian angel, after all. Maybe subtle's the wrong word, I don't know.
Sorry to interrupt your moment, but... Does nobody listen to me?
Now, don't pout. So, what seems to be the problem, George?
Yes, listen to this. The royal court is holding a swordsmanship show, and for some reason I was selected to participate.
How unfortunate for you. I can already see you on the ground sobbing.
Hey now, that's just mean. Besides, my hands weren't meant to hold a sword. Look at these dainty fingers. They're covered in calluses. Dainty calluses? Tell me, why would they have an artist sword fight?
That's the whole point, I would think. No need to get so worked up. No one's expecting you to win.
Maybe not, but we do have a name to worry about. And you know what that means, don't ya? I'm going to lose, that's a given. But I want to do it in style.
I feel bad for your sword.
Oh, don't be like that. Now come on, time's a-wastin'. To the courtyard we go.
Just so you know, if I train you, I'm going to train you right.
All I want to know is how to look good.
What is it, Michelle?
May I watch? May I watch? I don't know. Fine with me, but you know you can't go outside. I'll be watching from the hall. I can open one of the windows facing the courtyard.
Still, you need to be careful. You can't spend too much time in the sun.
I know.
Oh, adorable baby Michelle. I had 2 older brothers. The eldest, Didier, belonged to an order of knights that served the church. And below him was Georges, who served as a court artist. He was, in all likelihood, who would inherit the family estate, as knights were not formally allowed to own property. Nevertheless, the Boulanger family name was upheld by Didier. I'm just going to start calling it Boulanger, I guess. And then there was me, the youngest, the only daughter. Physically, I was not in particularly good health. Ooh. Because of the color of my skin, I was hypersensitive to sunlight. I rarely left the estate. My world was contained entirely within these walls. And perhaps, out of some sense of pity or compassion, my 2 brothers spent a good deal of time with me. Didier played chess with me, and Georges taught me how to draw. And among other things, they taught me how to read and write. For a girl, I was incredibly fortunate. The one thing I wasn't allowed to do, though, was hold a sword. While hardly anything unusual, it bothered me deeply. And it had for as long as I could remember. If I had been told I couldn't do it because I lacked the strength, I probably would have accepted it. But the reason given was not that I was weak, but that I was a girl. And with each passing year, that smoldering frustration in the back of my heart grew larger. Come on, put your back into it!
Like I said, all I want to do is put on a good show.
Oh, you'll put on quite a show, unless you learn to swing that sword properly.
Oh, give me a break. Out in the garden, my 2 brothers traded swings bare-chested. All I could do, though, was observe from afar. And every time I found myself forced to watch, I felt a sharp pain, like a knee. Oh, wait, no, this is still. Yeah, adult Michelle there. Out in the garden, my 2 brothers traded swings bare-chested. All I could do, though, was observe from afar. And every time I found myself forced to watch, I felt a sharp pain, like a needle piercing my chest. A needle that seemed to be growing ever thicker. My mother and my brothers loved me dearly, but that didn't change the fact that the outside world lay beyond my reach.
I was trapped in the estate by my own body. At first, I thought that was the root of my pain. But that answer seemed to contradict something inside me, something I couldn't explain, something I couldn't ignore, even as a child. So I searched within myself, trying to find an explanation for the constantly swelling sensation of wrongness inside me. Day after day, I gazed into the cavern of my own heart.
My, what are the two of them doing out there? Georges was asked to do a swordsmanship show at the royal court, so Didier's helping him. Swordsmanship? Oh, I just can't stand those shows. Blades are so dangerous. I can't watch people swinging them at each other. Why don't you come back to your room with me, Michelle? I would love to teach you how to sew. But Mom, I want to watch them practice. Michelle? First of all, you need to watch how you speak, young lady. You do not call me Mom, you call me Mother. This is what happens when you spend so much time around boys. As your mother, I don't approve of you playing chess or making art. A woman has no need for such skills. They will only make you look insolent. But I want you to grow up to be a respectable woman. That is my job and my dream as your mother. Now come. I would rather you looked at some fine embroidery with me than a couple of sweaty men. Yes, Mother. You are my little girl, after all.
Spending time with my mother was agonizing. Was it because her world was so isolated? No, that wasn't it. Her gentle voice, the sweet scent of her perfume, the way she constantly told me how much she loved me, and her diatribes about how wonderful it was to be a girl. Everything she did put so much pressure on me. But above all, she loved to say, "You are my little girl, after all." And there was nothing strange about that at all. Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw the daughter of a noble. That was who I was. So the only thing wrong was how I felt. But every time I was faced with the reality of who I was, my heart wavered. I had no interest in learning to embroider. I didn't understand why that was necessary. I knew what purpose it served. Everything she taught me I would need when I was to be wed off to some noble boy, and it was my responsibility to learn those things. It didn't feel right, though. I couldn't even accept the fact that one day I would be married. It was but an ominous shadow lurking in my future. I would have preferred ravaging the books in Didier's room than having a conversation with my mother. Tales of heroes of old and dauntless soldiers, military texts written by tacticians in the midst of war. Thinking about them set my heart aflutter and made me think about my brother. He was training to be a knight. I envisioned armor flecked with rust, a long sword glimmering with the blood of savages. Soon, I found myself in my fantasies, imagining how the sword would feel in my hands, the sensation of the hilt beneath my fingers, swinging it gallantly, like my brother. How heavy was it? How much muscle would I need to carry it? How much impact would I feel in my hands when I struck something? How restricted would my vision be wearing a helmet? How much did it weigh? How hot was it inside? I had no way of answering those questions, though.
me now. I have some cloth if you'd like to wipe yourself off. Oh, yeah, thanks. Ugh, I'm so dead. I should have been more... Oh, yeah, thanks. Ugh, I'm so dead. You were at it for a long time. I've never known Dee to half-ass something once he gets started. Which I guess is what makes him knight material, but... Are you opposed to him becoming a knight? Well, you know, I'd kinda assumed he'd inherit the estate and handle taking care of everything. So it's like, why has he gotta be some priest's whipping boy? Don't tell him I said that, though. He wants to fight for the greater good. I don't know. Despite the name, he wouldn't be doing much fighting himself. Anywho, someone as passionate as him might be able to make changes for the better. Changes? He knows what condition the Order is in. That's why he's joining. Figure he wants to whip him into shape, melt him down, and reforge the whole thing. So he might be able to change things. What? What are you muttering about, Michelle? Hey, whoa, hold it! The pain I felt in my chest when I smelled the sweat emanating from Georges' body. When I looked at his slender but distinctly male build, I was convinced it was admiration. Did I want to become a knight too? Maybe the discomfort I felt was because I wanted to be like him. Would it all go away if he were able to change the rules and I could join the Order as well? I was positive it would. Didier?
Michelle, hold on. You can't come barging into my room unannounced. I'm trying to change.
We need to talk.
I said stop. I said stop. You're a girl. You can't just walk in on a man as he's changing.
I see no reason for you to be so self-conscious.
Listen to me, Michelle.
Georges tells me you're planning to overhaul the Order.
He told you that? He told you, I don't know. He told you that? He told you that? Jeez, what? Why am I... Where to put the emphasis? He told you that? No, I hardly have such grand aspirations.
Don't be coy. I believe you have what it takes to do it, Didier.
What's gotten in?
Fiery. Don't be coy. I believe you have what it takes to do it, Didier.
What's gotten into you? You're unusually fiery today.
So I want to ask you a favor. When you have enough influence in the Order, I would like you to make me a knight too.
You what?
I'm tired of the way Mother treats me. Always saying I can't do this or that because I'm a girl. I want to learn how to swing a sword. I don't want to do embroidery. I don't care about jewelry or fancy clothing.
Michelle, what's gotten into you?
I'm so much more interested in the world you live in, Didier. So please.
Well, I'll be. I suppose we must have let ourselves spend too much time with you.
Not you too. That's exactly what Mother said.
First of all, Michelle, you don't have the strength to hold a sword.
Then I'll train until I do. And if that doesn't work, I still have my mind. You know good and well I could...
People are not chess pieces, Michelle.
But Didier...
But above all, you're missing the most important point. I will not for any reason become the kind of man who makes a woman take up a sword.
Didier...
This may seem normal to you growing up with two brothers, but I want you to listen to me, Michelle. Men and women walk different paths. Men wield swords and fight against dangerous enemies, and they do so to protect the weak, women and children. I am here to protect you and your mother.
You're no different than her. You don't treat me any different than her.
Honestly, what's gotten into you, Michelle? Why wouldn't I treat you like the daughter of the Boulanger estate? Your brother and I, we never meant to make you think...
Forget it.
What?
I'm sorry. I knew what I was asking was foolish.
Oh?
But I thought you would understand how I feel. Even just a little bit.
What was I expecting him to understand? Even I didn't understand the things I felt. I wanted to know what had gotten into me far more than he did. What I had done was no better than throw a temper tantrum. Was I that desperate to become a knight? No. I had just thought that the key to the chains in my heart lay down that road, but ultimately, there was nothing. Assuming Didier had agreed, and assuming I did become a knight, it wouldn't do anything for the core problem. As I dashed from my brother's room, I snuck a peek at him. His face was filled with an intense perplexity, and how could I blame him? I had tried to push a dozen different ideals onto him at once, filled myself with the vain hope that he would somehow be able to make sense of me when I couldn't even make sense of myself. And now, bubbling with unwarranted anger at being let down, I fled to my own chambers. I can only imagine how frustrating that must have been for him.